Hey y'all, it's Lena from What's Poppin' USA, Small Business Home Shopping Network, and today on Glass Table Talks, please help me welcome Divinely Lucie. Miss Lucie Pouilly is coming to us from Ireland, across the pond. I'm not sure if they say that over there, so we're gonna have to ask her. This young lady is the Divine Empress. She is an intuitive business coach. Y'all, please help me welcome Miss Divinely Lucie Pouilly to Glass Table Talks. Hey y'all, so again, please help me welcome Miss Lucie of Divinely Lucie here, Empress Lucie, psychic, intuitive Lucie, lady across the pond. She said I can say that because she's the first island. She's the first stop across the pond. So it works over there for Ireland too, y'all. I told him I had to ask because I wasn't sure. So please go ahead and introduce yourself to us. Tell us a little about yourself, what you do, how you got into this business. I know you don't just get into the psychic business, you know what I mean? So, when you first felt everything and why you decided to take the business turn with it, I guess I should say.
That's a beautiful question.
Yeah.
So I am Lucie. So as we were saying, I'm a psychic and business mentor, intuitive business mentor. And my biggest thing is really helping women mostly in very becoming, and it's funny because off camera, we were talking about women being very terrified to be live, or even some people were just even recorded in any shape or form. And for me, I'm really actually diving into you becoming the truest expression of who you are. So it's the whole self, it's the full condition, like deconditioning of who you are as how society created you, like shaped you, putting in you to a box. Hello, ladies, all the too much, too noisy, too extra, too everything. If you have ever too something in your mind, this is the conditioning that we've been going through. So I'm actually helping my client to go through the deconditioning, to deprogram them and really tapping into the remembrance of who they are. So we go into connecting to your higher self. Personally, I use the soul self, but higher self could be something that people have heard before.
Right.
So it's basically connecting to your higher self, which is your soul self, and finding a way to bridge your human self and your higher self to create what is actually meant for you. So learning about your purpose, because there's a lot of people that are purposeless, or they don't feel they have a purpose in this life. And
or they're really totally on the wrong path.
Yeah, they are in French, we call it depression. When we are you use the same word in English, but for people that have feel very sad and all that. And the thing is, depression in French, it's D and it's depression. And pression, it's like pressure. And it's a lot of pressure. That's what is depression. So it's like when we get to the path of depression, it's like we actually have so much pressure in our bodies that actually that meant to your whole self is getting overdrive, numb, all of that. And I'm not working with people with depression. However, it's something that when people are ready to grow and explore themselves, this is something I usually do, and I love talking about that and learn and really helping women. As I was saying, I'm working with women, but working with the nervous system. And I know she's saying she's a psychic, and now she's talking about the body and everything, but it goes all in hand in hand. Because when you are connected to your soul, you're connected to your guides, to your full level of your intuition. And basically, a psychic is the person that is very, very connected to their intuition. They can listen, they can hear other ones. That's the only thing. We all have intuition, but we have to go through a level to realize that we can actually hear other people's thoughts. Not thoughts, but we can have our guides giving us message to give to others.
Oh, wow.
So it's beautiful when that happens.
Oh,
But you
wow.
were asking how I actually fell into it. I was like,
Yeah.
how did you start a business? So I
Yeah.
started as a photographer first and foremost.
Right.
I've
I
been in
saw your
business for 6 years.
photography.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
A lot of
She's
work
talented,
on
y'all.
it's a lot of deconditioning in those kind of photographs, the last ones on my Instagram. But
Oh, but they're beautiful. I saw them. I was like, she's so brave. These are so beautiful. I love them. If y'all have not checked out her IG, it's Divinely Lucie, Lucie. Y'all have to check out. Yeah,
thank you so much. Thank
fantastic. I
you.
love them.
It's a lot of deconditioning. And, you know, the reason I also have done those photographs is for women that are curvy and feel they're not deserving and they shouldn't be in photograph, all that crap.
Mhm.
And I'm saying you love when I say that. I'm not saying judging
Yeah.
you. I'm like really, it's all the
Yes,
like the pressure again that's
it
been set
is.
onto us.
It
And
is.
if this photograph can like empower or like actually shift women perception of themselves and say today
Right.
I'm going to even take a selfie of myself, they made. I'm good. Because that's the first step for you to
Right.
become in power, not
Right.
empowered.
Right.
Very
Acknowledging
different.
yourself. Right. No, you're definitely so. Definitely so. So when did you feel or when did you know that you were psychic, that you had abilities? How did it come to you? Was it scary?
It was not scary. So what happened, like I'm not a medium, so like a medium will see like dead people, like pat,
Right.
like you might be in a room and like see
Right.
pat ancestors. I'm not that kind of
Okay.
like intuitive. I don't get that. Maybe it will come a day, but I know it's not my, for me, my gift is really seeing your higher self. I meet her and I sit at the table with her and we get to chat to each other, so she gets me message for your future, which is getting goosebumps. It's just like so delicious. And
Oh my
also some
gosh, that's
messages to
really
go through as well.
cool.
It is super cool. So, you were saying about photography. I actually realized I was a psychic when I was a photographer because I always photograph my clients. And some of my clients were saying, I don't look like that when they got photographed. And I was like, what do you mean? This is exactly what I see of you. And then I got to photograph other people. And I had one of my client is, she's also a good friend of mine and she's an awakened woman, and she was
Mhm.
saying she called me the soul goddess whisperer. And other people was like, you have the gift to photograph my soul. And in the beginning I was like, yeah, just like mm-mm. And then one day I was actually doing a
Mhm.
podcast on my own podcast, and it's just like collapsing time. It says, oh my god, it's just like the full remembrance of like, I've been doing that forever without even realizing it.
Realizing it.
Yeah, it's just like unintentionally was there all along. So I
That
started
is
with being an empath. I can read the room. I can read the room
mhm.
energetically. And that's the kind of the first part when I was very like in my late teens and everything. Then I
Mhm.
actually got fully disconnected because I had to go, I call it in the train. I don't know if you were talking like you being in corporate and like, being your big girl a
And big
job.
girl job, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically, when you go to bigger job, you basically go told to sit down in the train.
Yes, you're
Everything is
stifled,
straightforward. Buckle your
right,
seatbelt.
in a
Don't need to
box.
think. Little box.
Yep.
Don't even look outside. There's no need for you. Just like everything is created
Tunnel
for your
vision.
head. Kind
Yes.
of that tunnel vision again, like in that's the reason I really call it the train. And you get called to go and explore outside the train. So the first time you unbuckle your seatbelt, and you'll realize no one is going to actually catch you unbuckling it. And all of that, standing up in the train and no one is actually bothering you, or like bothering you being standing up. So you're like,
Right.
and all of those steps. And then one day I'm gone.
It just
I'm
they
like, I'm
you
leaving
start
the
running.
train. I'm creating my own destiny. Bye.
I love
But
that.
this is the big thing about, and I feel like the reason why I always be like I put in the side, so, and then I got sick being at work because I was not honoring my body. I was not honoring
Depleted.
my soul. And my soul, I was like, what are you doing? And send
Depleted.
me messages in lesson and in face, like face slapping at some deep
So
level.
I call that the cosmic 2x4 that comes and knocks you on your ass. It
Love
comes
this.
in, boom, and knocks you. That's what I call
I
that.
don't
It
know
comes,
if you have this brand in the US. It's called Fisherman's Friends. It's little candy, like it's a mint candy kind of things. And they have an ad, like you have to look at it on YouTube. And it's Fisherman's Friend, and it's basically it's a very silly like a video, and you don't understand what's happening. At the end, the guy came with a big fish and slapped you in the face. That's basically what
I feel like
you were saying, but the cosmic is like. He just got slapped in the face by a big fish.
aha
Basically,
moment, your
aha
awakening
moment.
moment. Yeah.
That can be painful.
Oh, very much so. Very much so.
That happened, but it's like really it makes me feel of sharing something about that we usually get the awakening by trauma. Usually that's kind of our door to realizing that spirituality is actually needed, like really going into that. Spirituality is, for me, is the full exploration of who you are,
Right.
realizing that you the creator of all,
Right.
and you are connected to source, God, whoever you want to call it, but
Right.
you are the creator of everything you want. That's just the amount of pressure released. Momentum,
Right.
like it's a momentum.
Right. Right. Because once you take that first step, it becomes easier to get that momentum to go.
Exactly.
So if somebody was to come to you as a client and say, Lucie, I don't know what to do with my business. I'm not sure where I'm going. Am I headed in the right direction? Like, I don't know if this is for me, if they're second doubting. How would you approach them and try to get them and see their higher girl power able to talk to her
Whoop.
direction they need to go to?
Oh my goodness, this is a great question. I had so many answers, but I'm going to be kind of tailored to one.
That's okay.
When tailored to one, maybe some will just flow out.
Talk. Yeah, tell me. I'm
The
curious. I'm
vessel
nosy. I
of
need it
my
all.
guide, so sometimes I don't even know what I'm saying. So it's just like it flows through me, and I'm like, "What did I just say? I don't know." It's just really what happened, but like if you were to like those kind, like it's I'm not rarely getting this level of question, because I have most of my clients will have kind of a already have something going on, but the thing is they might want clarity in the business.
That's
They
what
might
I
have,
mean. Yes,
it's like
yes.
kind of like, where's my next step, where am I supposed to
Direction. Yes,
go,
ma'am.
or anything like that. So this is actually something that I do in transmission. So it's called the transmission. It's my one-on-one 2 hours container together. It's basically we sit down online, we sit down together, girl to girl, and we go through your auric field, and I just seeing messages, and I'm going to share you that. So I give you an example. It was actually kind of funny, because I had a client and she was like, what am I? She was very kind of a generic question. I was like, I feel like there is a rebranding of your brand coming up, and I can see colors. I could see kind of colors. I thought it was the chakra colors, but actually she sent me a message later and was like, I'm literally doing rebranding. And I'm doing the colors were actually the color we were thinking of the rebranding. Like, I didn't know. So it's all of those kind of things, and also getting relationship messages sometimes, which is also a little bit like icky, because it's closer to your, like, talking about your business, super empowering. Talking about relationship can, so the big thing about me when I'm getting relationship messages is usually if it's not a message you're supposed to hear, I will see it, but my canal, my voice channel will be muted, so I will not have words for it. She's like, this is the answer, but she's not ready to receive it yet. So it's just like disconnect the voice. There's no, like, it's not disconnecting the voices. No word can be formed from the message I'm seeing. I can see it, but I could not even describe it to you. I can't see it. I can't tell you.
Wow.
It's a weird thing, but it's lovely when that, like, it's not lovely, but like, it's just like, I can see the big picture, but I'm not going to sit down with you and tell you the whole big picture because your body will not be able to handle it.
To receive it.
It's all about level of reception. So in terms of what you were saying, if like people will come, it's like, where do you go? There is a lot of like, let's be fully transparent. If you listen to that now and you're like, what would be the answer? Most of the time is your nervous system. If you ask that question, it's because you're too caught up in your mind, in your brain, and your body is in shock. So we must, before we can create anything, we must be aware of our nervous system, like learning to offload it a little bit. And also I'm doing that with my client in my upcoming program that called the Tempo. And we're going to actually learn how to expand your nervous system, which is
like
super delicious.
Like suppress it so it doesn't go haywire.
Expand it. It's like making it bigger so you can receive more.
Oh wow! So
it's yeah.
Feelers.
So basically, nervous system is usually, it's very, when the first layer of nervous system is really close to your skin. It's at your level of your skin. Then the more you're doing some body activation and work around your body and with somatic work, you can expand it. So I personally went through healers that helped me expand a little bit my nervous system. And basically, like a nervous system, there's no normal word. Okay. But the real word to me is the auric field, is your magnetic field.
Yes.
But the thing is, your magnetic field is usually close to your body until you're ready to expand and make it bigger. So, and the thing is, I went to healers that actually helped me just making it a bit small, a teeny bit bigger. But since I integrated it, now I know how to do it myself.
Oh, wow.
And I'm teaching that, and it's just like such a beautiful thing.
What is the benefit of that? What is the benefit of expanding your aura like that?
There is many things. So most of us, okay, when we have the normal level of a nervous system, by default, we nearly full all the time. Like you can imagine you're like kind of a bottle, and you are full from the feet to your nose.
Okay.
Nose and eyes. And then you have just the top of your head, your eyes to the top of your head of extra.
Right.
The benefit is when you are having your nervous system, your auric field full of like, with all the things that's going on,
okay,
you get to numb. Your body will go to numbing. Will go to not doing any, like, because it's just like you're going towards burnout, and like I don't want this. Overload. Yeah, overload. So I'm giving you an example if you don't really, just to have an idea.
I can visualize it.
Yeah. If you have a computer and the hard drive getting full, if you have the computer and the hard drive is where your system is, your operating system is, you're probably going to get a message, your hard drive is full. Please empty it. So it's kind of like, I'm going to just empty it. And okay, I'm getting to it. I'm getting huge. Thank you.
You're too slow. Come on, damn it.
Come on faster sometimes. But anyway, and then if you actually still keeping feeling it, your computer will actually slow down. It's going to be shutting down. Some of the application on your computer will not work and all of that. But you do have another way. You could buy another hard drive. And use the hard drive to offload the amount of information into another space.
An external hard drive.
Yeah.
They call it an external hard drive.
External hard drive, yes. So when you're actually working with your auric field, you can do that as well. It's actually adding another layer. It's basically adding another hard drive. And the hard drive can help you assimilate more information, be more in also, instead of reacting in the response mode.
Right.
Like in more, because when we are top of our nervous system, we're very quick to answer. I don't have the bandwidth to even think of it. It reacts.
Yes.
But if you actually expand your nervous system will feel way more quiet, and you're going to be able to receive more information. And also, that's also, you're the vessel of abundance for everything. It could be money, wealth, but it's also everything. Wealth is it's knowledge, it's so many things. But
Right, right,
when you do that, you can get more integration about yourself. But it's like it's terabytes upon terabytes of data. So you
right.
do need to work around. It's like, I'm going just to trust my own self body. It's like, yeah, it's not happening.
How do you put this into you practical use for a small business owner? So she sees, so say for me, I come to you, you have a chat with me, you're like, all right, Helena, I see you doing, I don't know, I see you on let's pick a show. You're on the cable network. Right? You got your own
Go
podcast now. You
fast
got
and
your
all.
own show like Oprah and Ellen and all of them. Like how do you is it is it is it like a more of
It's
like a
something you prepare in advance. So, like, let's say you were going on Oprah, you're not going on Oprah the next day. So it's something that you prepare, and you're not preparing because you go on Oprah or Elaine show,
Mhm.
or even though
Right,
it doesn't have Elaine show anymore, but
right.
um, it's something that have to come with. First of all, the big thing is the trust that you can do that, because
Mm.
there's like, I'm giving you an example because I'm saying that to you. I'm like, yeah, I'm like all of that, but basically what is it's the trust of it. Like, I'm going to give you an example, the big example that it's my own experience. When I actually met my current healers and everything, one of my healer were telling me actually do also past life regression, and I was like, that's BS. I don't that's not something. But I actually went through, I was not ready to receive that, so I was not I needed to go through steps. And it's the same thing for your auric field getting bigger. It actually comes from really being trusting the process. And the thing is, there is a lot of us that are still in the train. It
Mhm.
needs to be happening fast, and you need tangible result, and you need proof that it's working. But the proof
Mm.
is that you need to trust. And that's the proof. Like, if you are leaning into the trust,
Right.
it will come. And the thing is, there's a lot of us, you're like, how long, because we're still like kind of having a human experience of like,
Time limit.
come on, time is money kind of
Right,
things. It's like,
right,
no.
right, 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 right.
Your soul has no timeline. If it does not acquire what it needs to do now, it do it in the next time. When your body is tired and all of that, and just like, I'm gone, and your soul will come back to another body, do it
But
all
we
over
want it
again.
now. We want
But
it
you
now,
do. But the
Lucie.
thing is, it's all about intention. If you set the intention, you're going to get the ball rolling faster, and you get to integrate more information. Because now my auric field is so much bigger. It's like kind of I don't know if the same size in the US, but it's the size of a soccer field in terms of mine.
Oh my
So,
gosh,
and
that's
it's filled up by the waist, so you can even realize how big it's like, in it's a bubble, but like it's already filled up a lot. Imagine that. So imagine when we actually just our human self, how so little we have available when we can make it so wide. And I know I'm saying that it's mine now, but next time I do it, it might be twice the size of it.
wow. So it never shrinks back down. It always stays at the
It doesn't shrink down, but the thing is, it's also still like it's still connected to your human self. So if your
Mhm.
body still going through trauma, some past life
Mm.
trauma or current life trauma, you
Right.
might not, it will not get smaller, but it might
Mhm.
contract a little bit. It's again the same thing as like the level of resistance is still a new level of you to acquire to be more peaceful. And that's probably going to be a calling to have your
Right.
auric field filled up, and then getting
Right.
another bubble around it.
In your experience, have you found that women with more trauma are um, more difficult to, or they have more trouble in business, more, is it self-esteem issues or more trouble putting themselves out there like that?
I personally feel, okay, and it's not yes, the first few months of business, the first maybe even 2 to 3 years of business,
Mhm.
you might see them in the struggle because they're still trying to hold the identity that they were
Old,
known for.
old self.
So it's like, it's depending
Mhm.
how fast they're
Mhm.
ready to surrender to, like, this is not me anymore. Going to the
Ah,
cries, the sorrow, all of it, like, this is okay
okay.
to mourn an
I
old identity of you. That's
I
okay. Like,
got
I
it.
actually went through one today. So I'm like,
Okay.
I was going to say, my partner was like, I need to go outside, and going to cry. I'm going back. I'm coming back in 10 minutes. And I
Oh,
was going through it all. And then I was like, I'm back because I know
right.
now. But it used to be taking me days to go through this kind of things. And now I'm
So
like,
it's
couple of
therapy
minutes.
for your soul then.
Yeah.
It's
Because my
therapy
soul
for your soul.
knows. And then if I go, like, my human self is like, oh my God, oh my God.
Right.
Then I isolate myself. I come with my own space
Right.
outside of. I love saying outside of the world, outside of the words, outside of
Mhm.
the noise.
Right.
You're creating that space so you can be really connected to yourself. And personally, I'm voice activated. If you met me 8 years ago, I was just the most challenged person to talk to.
Really?
Yeah, you wouldn't guess.
No, not at all.
I had to do a presentation. If I stumbled upon one word, I would be like
Shut that
kind of a
panic.
deer in front of headlights. I
Right, right,
couldn't I
right,
couldn't do anything. I was like,
right.
ugh, it's not
Panic.
happening anymore. It was like, you want me live? You don't have an agenda? Girl, let's get talking. I just don't
Right, right.
I find things to talk about. That's
Yeah.
so good. But it's the big it's so good, isn't it? But it's the big thing about it. And but to answer your question is, I personally feel like when the women that have the biggest trauma
Mhm.
are the most powerful women. But the thing is,
Mm,
the trauma have been conditioning them to make them feel the weakest, and it's not true.
right.
And the thing is, the bigger the trauma, and it's normally not just your current life trauma. It could be your past life trauma that actually get activated by your current one.
Oh,
So
Lord.
my leadership was not wounded from this timeline. It was wounded from thousands of 1,000 years ago, when I was a man and I was a king, very violent. And this is what it was to be a leader, like being like going at war, kind of killing people, all
Yeah,
of
yeah,
these kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
things of like, hell no, because it's like, it's not my soul. My soul is
Right,
kind of
right.
quite, and she's fluffy. Let's put it this way. She's very fluffy, and it was like, so that's very big disconnection. So at the big,
Yeah.
for a big, big time, I was thinking, leadership is stepping on everyone's toes, like spitting
Mm,
on everyone's faces, and like, I don't fucking care. More sorry for the word.
climbing no, you're good. Climbing
I'm
that
like, I
corporate
don't fucking
ladder.
care about you. I'm just like, I'm doing my thing. And that's
Right,
the reason
right.
my body was like, I never liked competition. Because I'm like, I don't want competition. I'm not liking it. It just doesn't
Mhm.
work with me.
Me neither,
I
yeah.
still don't like competition, but I understand why it was kind of having that huge tension around it. So the thing is, we have our current trauma that you definitely need to go to a professional for.
Right,
Go to a therapist that really knows what she's doing or he's doing, so that
right,
can help you heal this current timeline, so you can
right.
actually realize that some of them are linked to a past life, and help heal that past life to get you even more powerful that you currently are.
So do you believe that all the different lives that we've had in the past combining together are form like we take a little bit of residual from the past lives into our current
100%. Like, it actually, I'm getting into the current understanding, so please bear with me. It's
oh
something I'm still integrating in my own knowledge, my own
right,
personal knowledge.
right.
I had a reading, like, I had it's called constellation. So someone goes through you, and like, you can do that family constellation. So it's actually super helpful for people that have family trauma when you
Mhm.
go to constellation. So basically, when it's in person, you can they gather people in the room, and
Okay.
you come and you set the intention of who is that person. So you could call in your mom, even though they're not past, they are still
Right.
living people. But you can also call people that are past, in like, that you've met in that past,
Okay.
and you will see instantly people changing behavior, and you can actually realize what they were how they were reacting with you were from this big trauma, and then like you sucked into that trauma. So you have the ancestral part, but you also have your past life. So anyway, coming back to what I was saying, I had a reading and I was saying, like, I was thinking I only had kind of two identities, which was the goddess, which was more my photographic self of like photographing women and all of that. And I
Right.
was launching my coaching business, and I called it was Divine Empress. So that Divinely
Right.
Lucie, it's kind of an homage, let's put it this way,
Right.
to
Right.
that identity. She's not gone, but. And then I created a planner because I'm that kind of person. I don't know if you heard manifesting human design, but I'm a manifesting generator, so I have more than one project.
Right. All the
And mhm.
time.
and this was kind of like, and at the beginning I thought there were three identities that were kind of in a line, and then it actually got to be shaped into a triangle. And I had like the base was the goddess and the empress, and the top one was the clairvoyant. Let me tell
Oh,
you, it took me 8 months to birth that identity. It was like, what? Such in full denial of the psychic abilities and all of that. Full denial. So it took
oh,
me 8 months.
wow.
You don't have to go through this. You don't. It's just like, it was just me. I needed to
Right.
learn that lesson. And then there is another one that came since. So, and I can see that it's actually looking like, I don't know if you never heard of that word or seen, Emerkaba. I can never say. It's a 3D shape. It's kind of triangle, like 3D triangles, and one is up and the other one is upside down. So it's
Okay.
kind of like a lot of spines and shapes.
Right.
But I
I
know
got an
that
idea in my head.
I meant for, and all your identities are actually past identities that were powerful. So they are past life identities. The goddess was actually in Egypt. The empress was the king, and the truth teller, kind of don't know yet. But I had another one that's more the maven. Is kind of like the full embodiment of the women sexual power. So it's
Oh,
kind of
wow.
like that. The
Right.
one I was resisting the last month and a half, and I'm like, okay, I'm not taking 8 months this time. It has to
No,
go
go get your
faster.
groove on, girl.
Need to move on. I'm excited for the next one. But the thing is, when you're in business, if
Yeah.
like, even for you, Lena, or anyone that is listening to us, there is an identity that is already there. She might not have a name yet, but that's an identity of your past self. There is something in this that you're like, and if you have many businesses, that's probably all of your identities kind of popping out and just like,
Walking out.
hello. And that's
You,
the big thing about it. Like, my personal understanding. But it's funny because you get to understand something and then you read books and people say the same thing as you, and you're like, how is that possible? All right.
it
You
must
don't need
be
approval to know about yourself, but it's just
right.
lovely to know
It's
that you're not the only one.
self-affirming. It's affirming, right?
Exactly.
When somebody else is going through it too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um, do you see anything with me? Do you feel anything?
I saw your scar on your arm.
Yes. So this happened. I was
And I heard
uh,
trauma when I saw that.
about
I
11 or 12 years old.
Mhm.
I was playing ball in the house, like your parents tell you not to. And
Naughty, naughty.
my brothers threw the ball, and I went running, and I put my arm through the window. And it didn't break going through, but coming back.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, and so it looks like a giant Y. So it like, and that was my first fascination with medicine, as my mom's a nurse. I
Mm.
watched the doctor stitch me up. I cut all the way to the bone, cut the muscle and everything, and I was hooked, hooked.
Mhm.
And I tried to go as a biology major to go into med school, but I couldn't get past chemistry, so I gave it up.
Mm. I
But
heard many things. Okay, so like when I saw your scar, I heard trauma. I heard like it was, I don't know, it might be a healed thing, but it felt like it's being like it was a huge trauma,
it was
and
traumatic.
like more energetically or emotionally than
Mhm.
physically.
It was. Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, as you were saying, you were watching, like you were watching and fascinated, and you kind of gave up of chemistry. What I heard as well is healer. in a past life, you probably have been a healer. And I'm hearing in the US, like before the US was the US. So like I can't even remember how. I don't want to be sounding like I'm a dumb person, but like the Indian, I don't know how you.
Yep. They say
call.
here they say Native Americans
There
now.
you go.
That's
Native. I was like,
politically correct.
there is a word, but
Right.
in the
Politically
Native and
correct.
American style.
Right.
So we probably have
Right.
met because, darling, I was there as well at that time. Hello.
That's why we
but
have
there's a lot. Hello. I was in another field, but like there's the healer, and the healer were really fascinated about the body, and like I mean, I'm getting goosebumps on my legs. So, but that's the reason you were fascinated. You were fascinating on like how the chemistry, like not chemistry, but like the biomechanic of the body
how
was
it works,
going, how it works, and all of that. And chemistry is like, poof. It's kind of like, nah, not interested, not something. I'm like, because you are more into the biomechanic. And the thing is, science is kind of, the medicine is like kind of blending so many things they used to be having one person.
Right.
And another person for the other one. And we kind of expecting one person to hold the knowledge, the wisdom of many different people in a tribe. So a healer were maybe it was teaching and will be using potions or anything, kind of the herbs and everything, kind of cataplasm and everything. But you also had healers that were working with the energetic field, more the shaman kind of things. They were working with the same. They were working to the same people, but they were doing different things. Some were more visible, but other ones were not. But like when you were saying you were so fascinated, when you have something that really excites you, it's something you already had in your life.
Oh, really? That's pretty cool. Now that's pretty cool to know.
It is super cool. When you it's the same thing if you have a phobia, it's a past life.
It's something that happened to you before.
I was talking to someone like he was telling he's terrified of of snakes, and like when he sees snakes, he looks like he's a 5-year-old girl, like that level of like scream. He like going into a table and like, oh my god, take the snake out.
That's funny.
Because that's the past trauma, and the thing is, you're either ready to go through the past life and realize understanding what it's all about, or you just kind of like, it's fine. But there is always something linked to a past life. But you need to be ready. You need to have your nervous system in check to be ready to receive that.
Because if you're already, like you said, filled up to the top, you can't expand.
Again, when you're at the top of your head, so you're getting logical, because your body, which is actually where your emotion comes from, are saturated. Capacity, no emotion, like there is no more level of emotion that you can go through. There is no motion, it's stuck. So when you at capacity, you get fully logical. And if I were to take you, like, let's take you in a past life regression, you're going to be probably either having fear, was what, it's like, I don't want to discover what I was before. You have to do it if you do feel like that, because there's something there. Holding you on, or there is so many levels, but you do need to be working around the somatic of your body to really understand what it came to you, what was the message as well. But I'm going to I'm so hype. I do sense you probably have ADHD like I have. Maybe
I am all over the place. I do have what they call, as you said, depression, anxiety. I've suffered from it for many, many years. And I think, in retrospect, it probably started my first episode that I realized probably when I was in my young 20s. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like floored by all of this. I'm wondering, like, all of the different stuff that I've gone through in my life, and all of my, I've always been very creative, very nurturing. So I talk about the reason why why doing this is perfect for me is because I love to talk and run my mouth. I love to help
Girl, it's
and
good. Well done.
nurture, and and I'm totally creative, and so it allows me to help, to talk, to to be creative. And so I really feel like a strong pull. You talk about people being in jobs and positions in their big girl jobs where it's not really suited to them, and they feel stifled, and they feel like they can't give anymore, like they're just done. Stick a fork in me, you know what I mean? I'm done, and they're burnt out,
Oh,
as
yeah.
you call it, And I think part of it is, not enjoying what you're doing. You're just in a situation that is, not is stifling you. You're not able to express yourself,
There
maybe.
is a lot. I think the big thing about the conditioning that is kind of a new, it's not new wave, it's been lingering, but
Mhm.
it's and it's still there. Let's just be fully transparent about that. Is
Right, right,
the when you get to bigger, like your bigger job, as you call it, like your career, like if you go and be an employee,
right.
it's because it's either deemed like you're being conditioned to think this is what is safe,
Mhm.
or this is going to give you financial freedom.
Right,
They're both skewed. That's not what it is.
right,
Like, being safe is within your body, and you can have that at any given point without no money in your bank. You
right.
can be safe.
Yep,
You can be 100% safe.
yep.
And even in business, some people will actually go in the bigger job and realizing they cannot make the money they want, so they go and get to a business and expecting like the big box rolling and all of that.
Just
And I'm not
immediately.
saying it's not
Yeah,
possible.
but
That's totally doable, but it will lead you to burnout again.
it's not possible. I mean, it is, but it's not. It's not maintainable.
It's not sustainable, for sure.
Sustainable. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
word.
maintainable,
Sustainable.
sustainable,
Yes.
whatever word breathes with you,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah. And yes, you can make the big box, but you, like, if you want to make the big box very fast and like very disconnected from your soul, that will lead you to burnout, full disconnection to yourself, and
Mm.
also be losing a part of your real identity in the process. Because
Yes.
let's be honest, if you're a nurturing person, if you are an authentic person, and you are getting to a kind of a level of business, and tell you buying someone the blueprint, as they call, like, you probably have heard that, buy my blueprint and I will teach you how X,
The
Y, and
next
Z.
best. The
You know,
next
the
best.
next best
Yeah.
thing, exactly.
Impact.
And you buy it, and you're not in doing anything that's been said, or you do know there is some people in this program that makes big bucks, and you're like, oh my god, I don't know why I can't do it. It's
Right.
because you're not meant to do it, and the other person is more disconnected to them,
Right.
so they can
Right.
actually leave their identity at the door. I'm like, so not interested. I'm
Right.
eager for the money. And
Right.
I'm really
Right.
here to
Right.
let
Right.
you know that you can have all. You can
Mm.
be in full authenticity to yourself. You can be in full devotion to yourself and give as with full devotion to your clients, and be making the money that you
But
desire
without burning yourself.
without, it's not even burning out, without losing who you are.
Ah,
That's the big thing.
that's big. That's huge. And especially for women, because we go through so many different phases. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to, when you get married and being a mom, I'm not really Helena a lot of time. I'm his wife. I'm mom. You
I'm
know what
that
I
kind of woman.
know?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
chicks,
Hmm.
so learning Helena all over again after assuming these other roles, and then learning Helena all over again while embarking on business
Hmm.
is it's hard to balance.
It's not the word I use, but I will come to it. I will come to that. But first of all, thank you so much for even sharing that, because I feel like it's very unsaid there is a lot of like shame around kind of like being the first, and that's what I'm doing. As I was saying, becoming the truest expression of yourself is also
Right.
voicing out that you the first of the family that should be served. So as I was saying to you, when I was mourning my I had a relation, like a friendship that actually just whittled down, and
Right.
today was like the big, like, oh my god,
Blow
all of
up.
that.
Right.
And I actually, the full download that I got, it was like I was not crying that friendship, I was crying the identity she have put it me on. So like I was holding on to, I need to be that version of me in front of her, and then she decided to leave the table, and you're like, oh my god, there's an empty seat. An empty seat is a space available for a
Mhm.
bigger, more powerful women in that table, on that table. And I was being very grateful at the end, and I was like crying, oh, and then
Right.
me coming up, thank you so much for leaving the table for more powerful women to come into my circle.
You know what? Now that you said that, so this business has been going, it's been a year and like 16 days now.
Well
Like, right?
done,
And
yeah.
I've already gone through 2 partners.
Mm.
And the issue, if we boil it down to both partners, is they didn't have enough time to dedicate to the business because they were caught up in their own stuff, their big girl job, their other stuff that they had going on. And at first, I was so upset because I wanted to be able to do this with somebody. I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to have that partner to do it with and to bounce ideas off of. And but when she left, it did like this, and it forced my hand to grow into the position
You.
that I'm in now, right? And so, and that was last July. Well, fast forward to this past April, I had another partner. She literally quit on me the week before a huge event that we had
Mm-hmm.
and took everything, like everything with her, everything, my mind, everything. And excuse me. And, you know, and I think that that moment when she quit, I was like, fuck, is this, am I about to fold? Do I just
Mm.
collapse it and say, screw it, give everybody their money back? And I was like, no, Helena, you can do this. And I went ahead and I did it. And now that I did it, it's exploded into more.
You
And
have expanded
so
your nervous system. That's what happened. You were in the path to extend your nervous system. And when we are
I'm getting
having someone,
goosebumps
I'm
because
telling you, I know this is your guides telling you that that's the message you needed to hear today. But this is what it is like. We kind of tend to have wanting to have someone with us, to thinking of we need to bounce ideas. Let's be honest, you don't need to bounce ideas. The ideas are within you, and you know it all.
I
You
wanted
about
her to
you, okay?
validate
About what you
me.
want to create. I'm not saying you know it all of the world.
No, I
Please
wanted her to
just don't
validate
twist my
me.
words.
Yeah, I wanted her to validate me is what I think it was. I wanted that
You don't
validation,
need validation. Whatever
and
you
that's what I got.
create is beautifully, divinely sent to you. If it
Mhm.
comes from a soul space, from a heart space, if it
Right.
comes from your logical mind of like, if I do this, I'm going to make this amount and this. No, this is not sustainable, because
No.
at one point you're like, I don't like doing this.
Right,
And
right,
I'm like,
right.
"Bleh." But
Because you're
what I'm
chasing the
doing now,
money. You're
I
chasing money and not
know
passion.
by the day I die, please, 126 years old, I will still do that. This is the thing. And I'm really like, for me, and even for you, you have your own way, but it's like impacting people. And the thing is, when
Right.
sometimes we kind of trying to get someone so we can hide on behind them, even though you might be the forefront, but you're like, if I get her, if I get scared, I can cover myself behind
That's
her. And
that
she's like, fuck you, I'm gone. And you're like,
that's exactly
ooh.
that. Oh my God, you are taking the words
I'm
out of
getting
my soul.
goosebumps.
You're taking the words out of my soul because that's exactly how I felt. Like
It's
I
like, this is too
needed
shiny, I'm going to take shade. Nah, nah. go straight to the light, and you're like,
That
oh, am I ready for this? And your nervous system contracts and expands like the Big Bang, explodes. That's what happened.
well,
That's your auric field more than your nervous system, but
this
that's what
shit is fucking exploding left and fucking right because I'm just like,
you're like, girl. Like, you know, in some level, it was painful, but you're like, I wish it was fast. It came faster, you know, at some
like
level. But, you know,
yes,
like, please, no
yes.
more. But, you
And
know,
what I have to learn is to embrace the journey of it instead of being scared of the journey. There are certain times when I look back and I'm like, oh my God, Helena, do you remember when you first started this and you didn't have 2 pennies and you were like, do I go get, a pack of meat or do I put gas in the car? You know what I mean? Like, and look how far you've come. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like, things have changed things, and I have to embrace the journey and look back and laugh at that, but
oh,
it's so hard when you're going through that. Do you have any parting words of advice for women entrepreneurs who are trying to step into their own, step outside of that comfort zone that they've been
I
boxed
do.
into, that stereotype
I
that
do.
they put us in the box for, and we're trying to break out? Do you have any words of wisdom for us?
I
Because
do.
it's not easy. It's hard. It's painful sometimes.
I do. First of all, we never step outside our comfort zone, because if we do that, we step outside of safety. So I really want you to scratch that idea that comfort
Mm.
zone is something you should get out of. It's
Okay.
you are grounded in the center of your comfort zone, and you
Okay.
extend, you stretch your edges. Again, it's coming back to your nervous system. It's kind of the subject of the day, but like, you know,
Mm.
we expand our capacity to receive and capacity to integrate and do more things. And the
Right.
thing is, when we step out of the comfort zone, let's put it this way, it's like imagining your body, like your bones are stepping out of your skin.
Right.
That's not safe for a bone to get out of the body, you know. Probably won't function on anything, and your skin will be flat on the floor and blah, 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 you know, so like
Gelatinous.
with jiggling with your
Gelatinous.
organs and everything. So we are not stepping outside of the, like, I'm going, like, it's the image I'm still keeping. I was like,
Me
wait,
too. I'm thinking
your
about it
bones are
too.
not stepping outside your skin. You're getting ready to be able to receive and get more available to you. And
Right.
I was going to say more John, but I just stopped myself, because John is also going back to the idea of like, it's the doing. There is a lot of us that have been, you were
Mm.
saying about little box, but there is the big box that everyone has been put on, is like, the harder you work, the harder you make, or the harder you do, the harder you're going to be received.
Right. Right.
And I'm here to tell you, the less you do, the more you be, and the better you will be, and the better you'll be receiving. That's my
I
word of advice.
love that. So just let it be. Don't try to step out. Just expand.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Incrementally, though.
Exactly. It's like yoga. The first time you do
Ah,
yoga, don't expect to do like the acrobatic
don't
partnership
be
things in the air and all of that. Like, nah. But
right.
you doing it step by step. So you're
Gradual.
not stepping outside of the yoga mat. You're staying on the yoga mat, and you are exploring and getting better and more confident. That's really, like, not even confident, because that's kind of it's
But I
it's a
got you.
generic
Yeah,
word, but
more
you become more,
flexible,
have more strength. That's the big thing. You are building the
more
strength about
elasticity,
yourself.
more better reach.
Exactly, mobility and all of that. So there you go. But
I
yeah, yeah, I want to just say one more thing, Lena.
sure. Oh, definitely. I'm soaking it
Because you
all
were
up,
saying
girl.
about, it's something that it's like, it's very dear to my heart. So you were saying like, I am the wife, I am the mom and everything, and that's a really much big conditioning that women have been going through for thousands of years, about that when we get married or we get in a relationship, we have to lose ourselves. We have to leave it at the door. Bye, girl. It was lovely to meet you, even though you never explored with her. And then you get kids, you lose yourself even more, because there is not even more less space left for you. And I have 3 under 4, so I'm like, I'm not going to say you have to wait. This is something I started doing when my first daughter was 5 months old.
Mm,
I reclaim myself. I said, like, it was not intentional. Okay, let's
right.
be honest. The first few pushed were my soul calling me, and I just jump into my
Right.
full scary self. Oh my God, but I just
Right.
did it anyway.
Right. Right.
But because my nervous system was not ready for that, but I was like, I need to do this. This is what I want to. Like, it's what I'm like. I'm feeling it's
Yes.
what I need to do, and this is the first thing, that my first step of not even reclaiming myself, but remembering who I was even before I was in a relationship, even
Right.
before I was born, is the
Right.
full self, like the full soul self that I've been along. She's been cruising for over 4,000 years. So she's like, girl, you get there. I hope it's soon, but it's fine. Like, it's not, I hope it's sooner. I know it will come, but take your
No.
time. And it's the fun thing. So for us, it's important, even
Yes.
for you, for all of us, to voice out that we are the first of the priority list all of the time. And I'm not saying breakfast time or anything like that, but every moment of your day, even if it's 2 minutes, 3 seconds, you need to be with yourself. Even though you have your kid blaring in the background, pushing you and everything, close your eyes, touch your body, your skin,
Give yourself a
and
hug. Yes.
thank your temple. Thank it. Like, really being intentional of like, thank you so much.
Is
That's
that what you
another,
call mindfulness? Is
I don't
that
know,
being present?
probably.
Okay, mindfulness in the States is a buzzword now. It's
Hmm.
being present in the moment with yourself, being
I would
present.
say so, though. Then, yeah, I know mindfulness, but I never really integrated
I
the
mean, I'm thinking
mainstream
that,
word. But like, for me,
right,
it's really much like presence. Like, it's, and you, when you give presence to your kids, you should give presence to yourself as well. And it's also how you heal your inner, like your inner child and all of that. But and also becoming a powerful woman is also going to your partner, or even if you're not in a relationship or anything like that, and voice out that you need time out.
okay,
I am actually saying to my partner once in a while, I'm booking myself in an hotel without you, without the kids. I'm gone for a day. I'm gone. I'm not a mom. I am
I
me. I am
love
exploring me. I am in full devotion of me, and no one can bother me. And I usually go on Saturday because my partner does not have his phone on Saturday, so I'm not even
right.
getting bothered.
That now
Unless
see,
there is an emergency, I'm always there. But like,
I love that. I love that. I love that for you that you do that. I intermittently go to this spa here and go get kneaded and stepped
oh,
on,
so
do the
good.
saunas and the so I am
But how
all
much was that
about,
challenging for you the first time?
okay. So the first 2 times I went, even in the saunas where it's hot as fuck, I took my phone because I was paranoid that my husband or my child would need me, right? I
Mm-hmm.
did. I would wrap my phone in the towel so it wouldn't sweat, you know what I mean, and burn up and spontaneously combust. But the third time I went, I was like, fuck that. And I
That's
locked it in the locker.
bye. That can
Oh
wait.
my God.
And it's again like if you were talking about the train, that's another train. And the first time you went there, the second time you unbuckled the seatbelt, I'm like, I'm out. I'm like
That's,
leaving at the
that's
station. Love.
exactly
Bye. See you
the
later.
train. Yes. That's exactly.
It's
And
this.
I gotta go soon too. I start feeling it,
Yeah.
so you got to listen to your body and know when your body is not right. You know, if somebody is interested, Lucie, in getting in contact with you and learning about, their ancestors and how
Mm-hmm.
to, or their past lives and how it forms them into their current being, and how they can use that,
Mm-hmm.
there's those strengths, and maybe some of those traumas, kind of learn from them to be able to deflect or use that in their business life, or even in their regular day to day.
Mm-hmm.
how can they find you
So I'm the
across
most
the pond?
exactly. Fly to me. No, you don't need to, but well, you're welcome anyway. But to answer you, I'm the most by boat for probably yet on a kayak, old style. Um, you can find me on Instagram, the most active on Instagram. It's Divinely Lucie, Lucie. And also, you were asking a very specific question. And if you desire to know more about who you are and applying this into your business, the temple, it's my next program. I'm launching on the 9922. So it's going to be so delicious. And it's going to be an 8 weeks Maven Mind. So we're going to go through sister wound healing, because there is a lot of the sisterhood has been being broken, and we're going to heal that part. That's the first level. And then we're going to go through your identities, some of them that are ready for you to really integrate, because some of them all there, but then kind of like you need new layer of understanding before you get to her. And you're also going to have some sexual awakening, because that's important for us. And I'm not saying you're going to be naked on Instagram like I am. It's all good. And it's not naked, but like, in my underwear.
No, those were beautiful. I love them, y'all. Again, go to
And you
her
don't need to do that.
Instagram.
It's just my own expression of where I am at the
Yes,
moment. But
beautiful.
you could
Love
be
it.
fully dressed, and you could be in full modest clothing, and you could still be sexually awoken. It's
Definitely.
something that doesn't have to be shared to anyone. And yeah, the temple would be the best place, because it's 8 weeks and we're going to go very deep. And you were saying about ancestral. There is layers that you don't even need to know your ancestors to know your identities. And usually you will find your identities before you will get to connect to your ancestral self. But no, I mean past self.
Right.
Past version. But I'm also training to become a past life regression therapist. So that's something I'm going to be probably adding into the temple as well in the next few weeks as well.
I'd be very interested to see. I mean, I'm interested in both, but the past life regression thing, because I'll talk to you off camera about a situation. About a situation, but
it's part of the transmission. The transmission will be a hybrid. It will be helping you with psychic if you feel it's a psychic guidance, or it could also be in transmission of your past self. So it's kind of like it's a different modality. The psychic is me delivering the message, and the past life regression is you going through the deep end with me by your side to support you in your growth, in your understanding and healing and all of that, for sure.
Y'all, Lucie, Empress Lucie, Divinely Lucie, all that Lucie got it going on over there. I absolutely love it. I wish I was closer so we could actually do like hands-on, energy work and Reiki and all that kind of I'm all into, and I'm down for it all. I absolutely.
But you can do that online as well now, because anything is energy. So you don't need to be in front of someone.
That's true. That's true. I'm just a touchy-feely, like,
I know.
what
I'm
I mean?
like, I know. I got you. Like, let's just see each other so we can do the huggy hug. Like, yeah. Girl, when I go to the US, hopefully being March, I'll be telling you, if I'm not too far from you, let's just see each other for the hug.
I love it. And I have a bestie. I have a bestie over there. I told you, in Ireland. She's in Belfast.
Oh yeah.
I've never been. It looks cold. So
it does compared to Georgia.
And she's a California girl. I don't know what she was thinking.
I don't get that.
But anyway,
I could get it, because she might be bored of this, like of too much heat.
She found the love of her life over there, and Vic tore her away from me here in California. There's a lot of women that find the love
of their life in Belfast. Just saying. It's been a theme for me the last few weeks, and usually like it's like women from the US and from like it's just fun when I hear somebody say, there's someone and I'm like, whoa. And you're the second person telling me that. I'm like, all right. Ireland have something. If you don't have a partner, just come over. You probably find someone. I don't just saying. Mine is not Irish, but
It's
It's
That's
fine.
okay. Well, I would love to meet you when you come over here to the States in March, Lucie. And if I make it over there, you are definitely going to be on my mental Rolodex to hit you up so we can powwow together, girl.
I
I
would be
thank you
delighted.
so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Glass Table Talks. And hopefully you had a great time and you will come visit us again. Come visit us
Yes,
again.
I will, of course.
Oh,
Of
wonderful.
course.
Especially once you get your temple classes going,
Oh,
your
yeah.
temple workshop, so that way we can come back and revisit and see how everything is
The
going.
nave in mine is just delicious. And it's very small, actually going to get 6 or 7 women in it. So it's going to be super,
Very
super,
concentrated.
you feel the hug? That's going that level of hug.
Virtual
Energetic.
hug. I love it. Thank you, Lucie.
Thank you.
Until next time, y'all.
Bye.